Now, it may not look like it, but I could not be more relaxed. Sometimes gaming is about getting lost in a story. Sometimes it's about sending your heart rate through the roof. And sometimes it's about pure, uncut relaxation. Just another Wednesday. Comfort games are a pinnacle of any gamer's library. They're an irreplaceable source of meditative moments that digitally offset the realization that the planet is on fire and 3 companies own everything. When I need a break from the real world, I turn to these 5 games before any others. And just to clarify, these are my top comfort games, not the top comfort games. If you have the exact same games in the same order, you're lying. But if you're not lying somehow, we should hang out. Starting us off, number 7 is 5 Days to Die. This game has been on my recently played list for over 10 years. It's changed a lot since the early days, but it's always followed the same pattern. Gather some resources, go to a house, get mobbed by a group of people whose love language is physical touch, make a base, make a mistake on the base, use a pre-existing structure instead, forget what day it is, die a horrible death. And I love it. Where it differs from games like Ark Survival or The Forest is the regularly scheduled impending doom. The cyclical frequency of the zombie horde is particularly pleasing for my specific brain, and the unlimited possibilities of the base building is one of the most satisfying systems out there. What kept me playing for all these years is the constant compounding objective. Every 7 days, a horde of zombies try to find out how I taste with my homemade barbecue sauce, and every week it gets a little harder, but I get a little more prepared. Having this threat on the horizon makes each productive day feel that much more satisfying. And as Yoda once said, "A calm without a storm, what good is?" It's not the most popular game out there, but there's never been a moment where I regretted my time investment. Except when playing online. Don't do that to yourself. Number 4 is number 2, Battlefront 2. Not that one. I would have to be the silliest of piggies to try to act like nostalgia doesn't play a huge role in this one, but more than just good memories, the OG Star Wars Battlefront games supply something that has become a dying feature: quick play. Instant action with bots is my exact speed. All the excitement of an online game without the online part. Choose the map, the game mode, the team, and get lost in a sea of voice lines and sound effects so incredibly delightful that I don't know, the right words don't exist. Just listen.
For the Republic! Efficient! The Confederacy is in control of the command post. The rebels have foolishly dropped the flag. Watch those wrist rockets!
But it's not just the sound effects. The level design, intensity, replayability, characters, vehicles, weapons, everything is on point. I'm sure I would have a different opinion if I was more of a Star Trek pig, but you can't deny the power of a game that puts you in the driver's seat of a dozen famous fictional battles. This sequel was also one of the few to improve upon the original in every single way. They added sprinting, diving rolls in any direction, controlling a ton of heroes, space battles, you can actually access the pause menu after a game is over, and you can still switch teams halfway through a match if you're a sore loser. This legendary classic is a classic for a reason.
Republic is in control of a command post.
The only area where it loses to its predecessor is the loading screen. That's the good stuff. Also somewhat related, if anyone knows how to fix the fog texture on Dagobah, I would appreciate it.
The Alliance has scored!
Number 3 was one that took me by surprise. Frostpunk was a game that I didn't think I would like. I don't play too many strategy games, since harnessing the full power of my brain is not what I would call my greatest strength, but this one hooked me right away. You start with very little available resources in an extremely cold environment that will only get colder, and if you don't plan accordingly, you will not last long. The unique setting and unexpected difficulty grabbed me on my first playthrough, but why oh why dirt is this a comfort game? Well, after a while, once you reach a level of sustainment, things become almost automated. You still have to make big decisions, but your townsfolk keep things running on their own, and you begin to revel in an abundance of resources, where you once had to struggle to keep your head above water, or snow, as the case may be. It's an experience that makes you appreciate every last piece of wood and coal and steel because you never know when things will go from bad to worse. It's also super satisfying to send a group of scouts into the frozen wasteland to pick up scraps while I stay nice and toasty by the fire. Number 2 should be the least shocking game on this list. None other than the world-renowned Mineral Craftsmanship. There's basically nothing I could say about this that has not already been said, so I will choose to say as few words as possible to get my point across. Audible euphoria. My brethren. Wordless communication. Alternate transportation. Eye contact. Yep, no, I get it. That was my bad. For these reasons, along with the fact that no other game supports so many different playstyles and possibilities, I had to reserve a place for this monumental pixel paradise. Before I get to my first place winner, I have to throw an honorable mention out there. None Buddy's Atmosphere narrowly missed out on the top 5 since the gameplay tasks are slightly less intuitive than some of the others. But it is still an excellent way to slow down and shrink your ego. You can walk all the way around a planet if you've got nothing better to do. You can build and fly any type of ship. You can become a notorious space pirate, or you can surrender yourself to the will of the universe. Well, the couch giveth and the couch taketh away. And a nice little bonus is that all of the animals are delightful to look at. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and walk around you. Nice to meet you. Now, my number 1 ultimate comfort game is The Long Dark. Yes, I know, everyone expected a Sub-Zero survival game set in an endless Canadian winter. The Long Dark is a unique world split into multiple mysterious sections that looks like it was painted by hand. It's got brutal mechanics, no jumping allowed, and forces you to never get too comfortable. Sounds like the opposite of a comfort game, right, Dart? You said it, Dart. But much of the comfort for me comes from not the game itself, but how it makes me feel about life outside the game. Unless while playing the game, you are also dealing with angry carnivorous wildlife, severe lack of heat sources, and inconsistent electrical currents, then chances are you're doing better than your character in the game. Like Frostpunk, the unforgiving setting makes you appreciate even the most obscure valuable. In my longest ongoing playthrough, I have a central HQ where I can live out my lifelong fantasy of being organized. But even though I have plenty of fuel, ammo, and band-aids, I always need more food. Typically, I'll find a reliable deer and send her on a trip to the grocery store, but however I can stave off starvation for another day is a big win. If I don't know what to play, but I know that I need to relax and unwind, at the top of my list is always The Long Dark. It makes me feel simultaneously cold and warm, desperate and content, feeble and powerful, all from the comfort of an ergonomic desk chair. Now, enough about me. What are your top comfort games? For the sake of brevity, please try to limit your comments to only your top 800 games. Thank you. Hey, thanks for being here. And also, thanks for letting me use your toothbrush. It worked way better than the shower sponge.